what we do is we're ultimately in the ideas business. You know, market research is insight. Insight is, at the end of the day, creating nuggets of ideas that help trigger new concepts, new business ideas, systems even. And so the thought of working with somebody who is able to, well, bring a new view on something, share a new idea of how things are done in society, it's actually just great for also the kind of work we want to do. And if next time it's an architect who does something really fascinating about how space could be reinterpreted, if it is a visual artist or like a dancer, if we go back to that example, and it's just able to express some topic in a different way that can trigger new ideas, I'll be open for anything, to be honest. So we spent a lot of time connecting Jill with other artists, other groups, businesses wherever we could. We introduced her to many sort of artisanal businesses, also in Kanazawa in the Hokuriku region. So we also went on like a little excursion to meet lots of people, and basically we want to foster sort of a passion for Japan, which then we hope can sort of turn into another round of coming back to Japan, bringing Japan into her life.
There's like so much going on, and it has like lot of arrows, and there's like different typefaces, and it really tries to catch like all the attention, but I couldn't figure out like where to look and what to read actually. So from my European point of view, it kind of fades a bit because I lose the attention immediately. I can't focus on anything. Also find super interesting were like magnets I found in a post. So they're to pin on the fridge, and they're like they have the number of the craftsman in case of an emergency, but in colors, and the typeface and the cute faces are not reminding me of real danger or problem going on. Probably it works for Japan because it's like super bold and it's like striking attention somehow. So
coming up through BBDO in North America, which is a big creative agency, we love the big creative, we love the big concept, something exciting that we would all get very motivated by. Coming to Japan, I found that the business was different here, where it was actually much more about who are the artists that we have relationships with, who are the writers that we have relationships with. It was strategy wasn't as, or the concept wasn't as central to the creative execution. So I think the agency world here is still very motivated, but I think big agencies like Dentsu and other places, they really lock down creative people in the market. And I think they actually tend to work in a way that certain properties like the Olympics or things like that, if you want to work in that area, you have to work through certain agencies. So it's this model of sort of, we control these artists, we control these musicians, we control these properties, and then we find ways to make them really exciting. But it's not sort of starting with what's the client's business problem, what are the issues that we're trying to solve with creativity, and then starting from that. It seems to start maybe halfway down the road, at least in my experience. In Japan, when I was working more on the advertising side, there was a lot of market research that we did, but people would always prefer to have quantitative, hard data rather than an interesting opinion from someone. And I think that's always kind of something that I've seen also replicated again. And it was, consider the job of a hotel doorman. And if we wanted to make that job more efficient, more productive, how would we think about what's the value? What's this person really contributing? So you could take an infrared sensor, you could put in automatic doors, and you would actually be able to sort of efficiently demonstrate that we are actually saving money, it's working well, and now the doors are opening and closing. But a lot of the contextual things that are difficult to measure, it's very hard to get that, like things like helping guests with luggage, helping move people along, friendly face, recognizing clients when they come to the door. So there's a lot of other context, I think, that gets eliminated sometimes when we start to really rely on data or numbers a little too much. And I think, as an example, I think sometimes when businesses approach the world of art, we come with that sort of perspective and that preference. So I did a little bit of searching online around the area of art and business. And not surprisingly, I found a lot of articles that were kind of about why the arts really mean business. Here's the proof that if you invest in this, then you're going to get this return. Or here's some of the benefits. There's a lot of, even things like controlling people's attention or being able to sort of demonstrate things to the eyes. The idea of like the rise of the creative class, the attention economy. Art's kind of going to be able to help businesses be more productive, be more successful, drive more business. And I think even something like meditation, which is not really something that I would sort of put into the world of business, you can find a lot of mindfulness exercise now, but it's all about becoming a more productive person so I can be a better worker. Personally, I find that to be a step too far. And sometimes I think when you're thinking about things like arts, or you're thinking about things like meditation, I think these are things that don't necessarily have to be quantified and broken down into specific categories to convince ourselves that they're worthwhile. And sometimes in business, we don't use the word fun much, unless we have a mission statement or something like that, and there's some kind of corporate deck that this is joy is an important thing for our business. But I actually think as human beings, it's really satisfying to do a project that's fun. And so, sometimes again, I think my presentation and everything is kind of about that, but trying to find the balance between professionalism, but then also allowing room for just human fun. And I think sometimes working with artists, it's always one of the best parts of my days when I have those meetings and then I get a chance to go visit an atelier, go visit a craftsman and see that. It's really exciting.